Okay, back for more. We'll now go into number 3, run the customer and billing. For the main menu, number 3. Now, customer input, this is the main screen that holds all information for all the customers, all the records inside their account. If you go into 1, enter the customer number or name. I don't know. We can do A like before and search for them. Press enter then when we get them, and that's who comes up in there. Now, the pay type, typically blank. There's a little trick you can do, and that's to do the shift and question mark on any field, and it'll show you a box if there's pre-programmed choices that you must use. So on this, as it says, on account types, blank equals that's normal. This is where you take a charged customer who's gone bad and you can make them be a cash only or completely stop, no more invoices. Just hit enter, we'll clear the box, move you to the next field. On account, shift question mark again. Select Y for yes, he's on account, he has a charge account, or blank for no, he does not have a charge account. Press enter, clears it, goes to the next one. Shift question mark. Is he a weekly, a monthly, an alternate, a bi-monthly, or a COD? Typically, 90% of the guys run everybody as an M for monthly. Sometimes we have a couple weekly guys, they'll code them as weeklies. This gives you the ability to run statements by groups of customers at any time that you want. And you can even set like the couple bad guys that everybody seems to have as like a or a B or a C to say I'm going to print these guys every other day. So you can print just them or even by number in the statement themselves. Okay. Show the discount. This is where you can set up different discounts. If you go to the middle column down here, you can actually give them extra discount based over and above what you're already charging them for normal prices. And then show discount will actually lay it on the invoice and print it below the part numbers and show that you received a discount of whatever dollar value on this much dollars spent. Customer class, same thing. Here's what our options are, and then 1 through 9 at the bottom, you can create your own classes if that's what you wanted to do. Again, class is strictly just a code where you kind of, for mailing labels and things like that, I don't see much of a need otherwise, because, or just maybe to hand a report to your outside sales guy. Just do all of your D, dealer accounts, or maybe all your M, master installers or something. And typically, yeah, your dealers are garages and repair shops. Master installers are like your Firestones and Goodyears, Big O tires and things like that. You can do whatever you want them to do on the coding. The no core, if you were going to, like in Autolog, they run the core bank. Similar to that, if you set a Y for yes here, what that does is it does not charge them a core value. In other words, like a $20 core charge. It makes it zero. It retains the eligibility, but there's just no dollar to value or dollar denomination that's associated with the invoice when you print it. So that extra value isn't on there. So guys like Firestone, the local guy in California who sends his payment request clear to Canton, Ohio, and the parts store gets his check from Ohio for sometimes 2 or 3 different locations of Firestones that you're selling to. So the core makes it zero. They can pay quicker. You just get your core back, do the credit. The dollar value will be zero, but you do the 1C to return eligibility, what relinquishes that. Okay? Otherwise, it's no, and then cores are like normal. Taxable, it's a Y for yes if he's always taxable. Blank if he's resale. Is a PO required by this customer? Put a Y there. The store is something you won't have to worry about, or the label. Those are little different hidden things. Labels, just printing labels. Everybody can print labels anymore. It's not necessary. The AR terms and the invoice terms. These are notes only. AR is for statement terms, and the INV terms are your invoice terms. Like I say, notes that print on the statement or invoice. I'll show you the box after I leave this screen. Okay. These note 1s and note 2, these are the notes that blink. If you want them to blink, or they can be steady, that's an option in supervisory. But these are the notes that show up in the invoicing screen for this customer. So whatever notes are specific, then that's where you would place them, and they automatically print in the invoicing screen. Excuse me, not print, but flash for the counterman to see. Later on, when we get the email program working, the default email address that you would use to send correspondence to this customer, like a reprinted invoice or his statement or a report, you set that email address here, and as you do that, it grabs the email address from here. The bottom line billing method says open item, or it will say balance forward. That's not changeable at this screen. It's all in how you created them at the time. We can always switch them really easy between balance forward and open item at any time. Not a problem. Like some systems, we can't change them until the first of the month rolls, and with no payments on there, the stuff's gone. It's not a problem. We can convert them anytime. All right, the field I'm on now is the price schedule code. This is the code that controls the pricing from the customer and the invoicing screen and what you're going to charge them for all the parts. I will show you that shortly again. These are where the fields are held. Same as the tax schedule. This is if he's taxable. This is the tax schedule. I'll show you the tax schedule line in a minute. So it shows you where it's going to see 8.5% or 9.25% or whatever tax rate is that's being charged. The list GM is a field where you can create the list price going to the invoicing screen for this customer number. So if you put a value, say 50 here, what that does is that's percentage. So if you charge him an item on the invoicing screen that's $10, the list will automatically be double, $20. If you charge him a part for $25, the list will automatically be double, $50. So 50% is a double. If you put 40%, it'll give him a 40% gross margin markup over the cost of the item you're charging him in the invoicing screen. Normally this is 0, and it's just going to handle by the default setup at the price schedule code. The field I'm on now is the core GM. What this is lets you move and give the guy a custom core price if you wanted to do so. This works good on people who actually do rebuilding of axles and alternators and stuff. That way they can give another customer, maybe axle cores are all $15, he can charge this one customer $10, and then this would be moved to the price field that you want to create a special core price on. If you had an outside salesman, this would be the salesman code goes. So when you run salesman reports, you can say, give me all customers that salesman Bob has. Now there is only 3 positions, so you can use, you know, like Tom Bedore or whoever that you want to do, Brad Skanesny. So whatever that you want to use for codes, that's good, but that's what the customers will get, so you can run reports based for the salesman code. The next field I'm on is INV PRT. This is strictly if they're going to get a different style invoice or get sent to a different invoice printer than what used to be by the default. So typically going to be blank. Again, these are weird things, and when you run into them, you'll call me or Gary, and we'll give you an answer as to what we need to do. This is where the customer is created for the ask year, make, and model. If you put a yes, a Y for yes, that box will prompt that we saw in the invoicing screen for those other customers. Otherwise, blank, that year, make, and model question will not come up. The next field is tendered. It used to be where you could set tendered, which is, I don't know if you know what tendered means, but that way in the invoicing screen, cash invoice, the invoice is $15. You gave me a 20. I put in 20. Tells me the change of $5. It used to be done by customer. It's not anymore. It's a system setting. You either turn it on or you don't turn it on. No big deal. All right, this field here is the customer codes. You have 5 positions you can place in here. So there's 5 positions wide. They can be whatever that you want them to be. I'll show you the other screen, which you kind of see all the customers at once and what codes. Typically the only time we use codes for customers is for setting up rebate programs and stuff like that. And again, you can use alpha or numeric. Doesn't matter. Both are applicable. That's 5 different columns there. Okay, the next field is mechanic required. If you set a Y for yes here, When you print the invoice, it prompts you for the mechanic required, and you have to put the guy's name or initials or something. So in other words, the Chevy dealer can see what mechanic is ordering the parts from you. So that's up to them. Delivery, this is where you can flag for the e-delivery. If they're automatically an e-delivery that goes e-delivery automatically. In invoicing, we can do the F6 to toggle. Doesn't send an e-delivery customer's invoice to e-delivery. It'll, because maybe standing at the counter. Okay, but no problem. Dunning is a message that you can attach to your statements for when people get so many months old on and past due. So you can create different notes. 30-day, hey, you forgot to pay, please remit soon. 60-day, hey, some gun, you forgot again. 90-day, I'm sending the posse. You know, so you can up the message strength based on how old they get and how far behind they're getting. Okay. As we down arrow, we go to the top right where it says ship to. This is where you would set any ship to accounts. If you have any that do that, this is where you'd set that. And their phone number and the fax number. Next field down is password. This is their ePart password field. So to get into ePart, it would be their store ID along with that customer number and this password. Next is just the contact. So Bob would be the guy I would call if I want to call A&B Auto Body to have a problem resolved or get a check or discuss anything, sales or whatever. Resell, this is where their resell number can live if you want to put it there. It does not change the fact that you need to keep it actually on hand with a signed card in their place of business. Shipping instructions, this is a note that's long that does print on the invoice for this customer every time you print an invoice. Shipping codes can be used for the delivery as far as like, you know, north, south, east, west. So when it, the code also will ship to or print to the invoice, so you can say this is on the north route, it's on the west route, so you can kind of dispatch it out accordingly. The max year to date, this is the highest credit limit they ever had printing statements during the year, and this is the highest statement they ever had last year, calendar year. The cents is how long they've been in the system as a customer. And this is the credit limit. On a charge account, this is important. Unlike Autolog, that the limit is 0, means he's not a charge account. With us, if he has a yes on the on account over here, he's a charge account. This says, where do I stop him at? 0 says he has no stopping point on the ceiling. So if he is a charge account, I recommend something. $10,000, $100, $10,000. Need more zeros in there. There you go. $1,000, $10,000, whatever. Typically 45 days worth of business and maybe another 10%. Just whatever. It's up to them what they want to set it at, but they should top them at some point in time. Again, discount too is where you can actually give him extra discount on an invoice or going forward. Finance rate is the charge that you may want to charge him for slow paying when he gets beyond 30 days old. Typically 1.5% monthly is 18% annually, and that's the default for the industry. The discount 10 days is how much maybe you're going to give a 2% discount on his statement if he pays within 10 days. And then if you set a 2% here, when the statement prints, it'll actually print a line that says, if you pay by this date, you can take $29.86, whatever the 2% is, and it tells you the dollars and cents. It doesn't just say, don't forget to take your discount. It tells you what discount you can take. Okay? Now the rest of the fields here are just visuals. Shows you your current breakdown as far as the balances, the futures, the current 30, 60, 90, etc. And then down here shows you your last 2 payments, the amounts and the dates, the last 2 invoices printed, amounts and dates, and the last 2 statements printed, amounts and dates. So it's, again, quickie, I call eye candy. It's quickie view. Sometimes these numbers will get skewed when somebody cancels an invoice, cancels a payment or something like that. Sometimes this goes and fixes itself right away. If it's tied up with something else, it may take the end of the day to reconciliate these and get these proper again. But at the end of the day, we'll always set these right and fix these, whatever the balances are. Now, a couple really, really cool features. If we go back up to something like this, now, if you look down here at the bottom, F5 for restore. So if you have a problem where you've come in, and my cursor right now is at the top line up here, and I got lazy, or my cat jumped across the table and cleared that out. Oh, and I said, what? Oh, and I cleared that out. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I cleared that out too. Before you exit, hit F5. Everything's back as you came into the program. Okay? So even any of the other things I changed down here. Oh, so it says you want something. Okay? Doesn't matter. Whatever I've changed, F5, it's back. So don't exit, or tell the guy don't exit until if he catches a problem, he did a mistake, hit F5 before he leaves. Because once you exit, it's saved. It ain't F10 to hold it like in Autolog. And the other button in here is also F6 for sales history. If you hit that, it gives you a year long, actually 13 months long, by month, what he's bought, what the cost was, what the gross margins, what's non-stocked, other stuff's by codes, the returns, and the cores, all on a quick view screen. Quickie information. They don't gotta run reports to see information. Alright, F2 to exit. We're back to there. And we're going to F2 one more time. We're back to the customer and billing menu. Now, options 2, 3, 4, and 6 are all smaller versions of the bigger screen. In other words, you get different pieces of information between those screens, again, based upon the information you're looking for. So if we're going to be setting up a customer and go into 2. Here's all the customers on the left-hand side. If you page down, they'll all be in through here, alphabetically or numerically, however you got the system set, because we can run either numbers or alpha, whichever way. So here's all the same questions. On account, the statement, the class, the price schedule, taxable, is, if so, what's the rate, or excuse me, show discount, taxable if he is, and if so, why if he's always taxable. Here's your finance rate, here's your statement terms, here's your invoice terms, notes. Okay, now I'm going to touch on statement terms and invoice terms notes first when I leave this screen. If you look here, we got A's mostly because that's the default. Here's a guy with a C. Okay, I'm going to exit one time, F2. Now if I go here, we got letter A, table statement terms. If I go into A, here's a listing. So the customers who had an A in that column get the note on their statement, says monthly. Guy who had the C, he gets COD. So these are notes you can create and give the guy the letter, and he gets that note automatically printing on his statement. Okay, I'm going to F2 once, and I'm going to go to B. It's going to look like the exact same table. Same situation applies, though. This is what prints on the invoice. So if he's a monthly, if he's a weekly, a COD, whatever letter he gets, that's the note he gets printed. If you don't want a note, make it blank. If there's no note to print, nothing prints. No big deal. Again, these are all customers' options, what they may want to do. Okay, I'm going to F2 to exit. I'm back to that menu. I'm going to go to 9, table sales tax. Here's all your different rates. So line 1 says Orange County at 10%. Line 2 is LA County at 9.25%. Okay, and vice versa all the way down the line. So I'm going to go back to one screen here. If I go into 2, and I go over to here to the tax schedule, everybody who's a 1 gets Orange County rate. Everybody who's a 2 gets LA County. This guy has a 7, so whatever's on line 7, that's the tax rate he gets, and he's always taxable. Like this customer, he's not set to always be taxed, but if you have to tax him on a tool or something he's paying tax on, that will be the line that's going to get the tax rate from. Hope that's all understandable. I'm going to have to exit. Okay, so that's your screen. 9 for sales tax, letter A for statement invoice terms, or statement terms, and B for invoice terms. Okay, I'm going to go to 3 for customer flags. Now here's more information. Pay type, on account, statement, no print. So you can no print statements for a customer specifically. So we don't get a statement ever printed. Again, no core, PO required, invoice printer special, labels, the class, and if he's an open item, he'll have an O in the far column. If he's balanced forward, it'll be blank. So that's how you can tell who's what direction on the charge type by this column real quick here in a quick view. Okay, I'm going to exit. If we go to 4, here's our customer codes, and like I said, there was 5 positions earlier, and this is where you can hit them all individually here. And like I say, a lot of times we'll use these specifically for like Wix rebate or Baldwin rebate or something like that. And so we can go down and say, okay, like this guy's probably set for a B for Baldwin rebate. Maybe these guys will be a W for Wix rebate. So that's what we use the codings for. No big deal. Then when we run rebate reports, we can say all customers with a W in position 1. Run rebate for Baldwin, all customers with a B in position 1. Then we can use any of these 5 positions for doing any of the stuff we want it to do. Okay. This will also show you if you need an extra invoice copy printed, because some guys need an extra copy. They want it, they get it. This is the salesman set for the accounts, and here's the resale number if you've entered it. Setting here. Again, quickie views for different pieces of information. Okay, after you to exit again. Okay, and that covers most of the customer creation and setup stuff. In another page or another section, I'm going to cover the actual statements and billing and the reports and stuff. So until then, I'm going to have to go to the main, and we'll talk to you in the next version.